Hi, and welcome to this month's segment of Let's Bark About It. On today's show, we have with us two folks from Botanical Creations to talk about plants that are both beneficial and toxic to your pets. So I'm going to welcome today Josh and Julianne from Botanical Creations.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure.
So I met you both at the Home and Garden Show when I was picking up a lot of catnip plants. So I wanted to talk to you guys. You had a wealth of knowledge about the health benefits of some of the plants that you were featuring, and one of them, of course, was catnip. So if you want to tell me a little bit about the health benefits to cats of catnip.
So catnip helps aid in digestion in cats. They're naturally drawn to chlorophyll in plants, so they'll go to your houseplants and eat houseplants. But if you have options on hand that are safe and healthy for them, they'll kind of deter away from your houseplants.
So it's okay for them to eat the fresh catnip growing right out of the pot, correct?
Yeah.
Or what's the other alternative? To dry it?
You can dry it and give it to them, and they like to play in it. But it's always good to have it fresh because they seek out that chlorophyll.
Okay, so I picked up some of that as well as catgrass. So what's the difference with catgrass, and what are some of the benefits of catgrass?
The benefits are about the same. It has the chlorophyll in it, and it just gives them an extra bit of fiber to help aid in digestion.
Okay. So we were talking about some of the herbs that were good for kitty cats. So I'm in the process of making an herb garden, an indoor herb garden for my cats. Can you tell me some of the herbs?
Other options that you can add into like a cat garden would be rosemary, thyme. You can add in lemon balm. There's valerian, which is also like a calming agent, so it's good for cats that are very high strung. You can do rosemary, which is a natural like flea deterrent, and there's a couple other ones that you can add in.
Awesome. So we're going to go over to Josh, and we're going to talk about some of the safe plants that we can have indoors.
Thanks, Melanie. Yeah, so there's a whole number of plants that are safe to have in your home for your pets and that are non-toxic. And some of those ones are the very common African violet. You know, we got air plants here, which are very easy growing, and they're quite commonly found. Those are the two right there in the front.
Do you want to show them?
Yeah, sure.
So these two?
Yeah.
These are two that you can grow indoors?
Yeah, you grow them indoors. They don't require soil at all, and they just they like to have a good soaking about once a week for about a half an hour. And they don't like full sun, so they're pretty much growable anywhere in the house, and they're very easy to grow. Another one is the Christmas and Easter cactus, the one on the left there closest to you.
This one here?
Yeah, that's one of the few flowering plants that is non-toxic to your cats and dogs.
Okay.
And the blooms last about 30 days. They're a pretty nice one to have around the house, especially around Easter and Christmas time. And we've also got the catnip, of course, and then ponytail palm is another one. It's a very easy growing, slow growing plant that'll get quite large over time. And another one, my personal favorite, is the Haworthia there that we've got right front and center.
This one here, is this a cactus?
It's a succulent type plant, yeah.
Okay.
And so being a succulent, it's able to withstand drought for weeks on end, you know. So they're great for people who go fishing, camping, stuff like that, or just typically forget to water their plants, right? They naturally survive those periods of drought out in the native habitat. And then another one also is the Venus flytrap that we have there. Those ones are quite the neat little plant. They grow quite easily. They like higher humidity, higher sunlight, and they'll eat up your little flies. You know, they're great to have in the summertime when you got the fruit flies flying around the house. Take care of that, and as they get larger, they're actually able to eat house flies.
This is a really small one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, so this one's quite young in age, but they get quite large over the time.
Okay. And so what have we over here?
That there is an African violet there. They're a great easy growing plant. They don't require tons of sunlight, so they're good pretty much almost anywhere in the house. They do like bright light, and they actually flower for you a few times a year, so they're a nice one to have, nice and compact, so you don't need to go with a larger pot as where like the ponytail palm and such like that will get quite large over time.
Okay. So I was at the Home and Garden Show to talk to you folks about buying some cactus, and I was trying to determine which are okay for cats and you know, your indoor pets, and which aren't. So do you want to tell me a little bit about about the cactus that...
Yeah, so with your cactus there's a few of them that we know are for sure not toxic to your cats and dogs, and that's, for example, is the Christmas and Easter cactus, as well as the Old Man of the Andes is another one.
Okay.
And for the most part, the spikes and spines on the spiky cactus is more than enough to deter your cat or dog away from it. You know, they'll get one touch on it and then that'll be it for them. So that's a natural deterrent that they have that protects.
Except for your dog.
Except for my dog, yeah. She did one time get into my Old Man of the Andes, and she ended its time. So, you know, you gotta. It's always best to keep them out of reach if you can. But you know, if it is going to be in the area of it, you know, and a lot of it is training your dog to stay away from it too, right? Like I know cats can get pretty pesty and stuff like that, and pretty curious. But for dogs, you know, you could work on training with them and a lot of the time get them to stay away from it.
Okay, what about aloe plants? Because they're pretty common for people to have indoors.
Yeah, so aloe is a very common plant that is very commonly found and used very beneficially with humans, but it is actually a toxic plant to cats and dogs. So even though we use it on a regular basis, you know, it's very beneficial for burns and cuts, and now more people are starting to take a daily intake of it because it's so good for you. You know, a lot of people put it into smoothies, and even, you know, the odd person will eat it just like that. But it's definitely an acquired taste to get, and but yeah, they're very beneficial to us, but not so much cat and dog. So you want to watch with that for sure.
Okay. So instead of growing these guys on the ground toxic plants on the ground where they're accessible to your pets, where can you grow plants that are out of reach? So almost like preventative methods to keeping them out of reach from your animals.
You can put them in hanging baskets. That's always a good option. You can put it in front of a window and it'll be out of reach to both cats and dogs. You can put them up on higher shelves. There's options such as like deterrent sprays that are made from like a bitter apple, a bitter cherry. You can pick those up at like a pet store and you pretty much just spray the plant or the pot with it. They're not going to harm the plant whatsoever. There's natural remedies that you can make online to deter them as well, like from citrus oil or lemon oil.
Okay.
You can just spray it right on the plant.
I'm finding it really hard to divide my cactus at home, you know, up high, and then to actually lure my cats to my plants. Is there a way to like lure them to the plants that are okay for them?
Not so much lure as, but more to deter from the toxic ones, right? So like Julianne said, there's a lot of those sprays that you can get, and another very common method is to put cayenne pepper around it, because normally they'll get one smell or taste of that, and that'll be it for them going towards those. So just the main point is having the beneficial plants like the cat garden and such at a very accessible place for them to get at, right? And anytime you see them going towards your toxic or otherwise, you know, the plants you don't want them getting at, it's just good to, you know, pick them up and bring them over, show them the cat garden, show them that it's good, you know, reward them for going in there and playing in it, right?
So reinforcement.
Yeah, reinforcement, absolutely.
Right. So let's talk about some of the plants that are, or vegetables, or, you know, things that you can grow outside in your garden that are beneficial to your dogs, because my dogs get in my gardens all summer long.
Yeah, so one thing, so outdoor gardens, you know, a lot of people have many flowering plants, and a lot of them are very toxic. One of the main ones that are most popular are bulbs. Bulb plants are beautiful. They grow beautiful flowers. They're nice for all around the house and the garden beds and everything. But not only are the leaves and flowers toxic, but the bulb itself contains a crystal that is highly poisonous to cats and dogs. So that's one thing you really want to make sure that they don't get into, because that can lead to some serious vet bills and even worse, the unthinkable, right?
Wow, okay, hold that thought, because when we come back, we're going to continue to talk about toxic plants to your pets. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back.